Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Not really sure what to do with this story or what we're supposed to make of it, but I do find it pretty fascinating as a report came out that Brock Purdy wasn't fully healthy and he was still rehabbing that arm shoulder situation into the season, and we know he played so well for majority of the season. So here is some audio on what exactly happened with Brock Purdy, and this is from Brett Coleman.
And it was a popular narrative that Brock should have been, right up there at the top of the MVP voting. If you're looking at the season that he had, he crushed like every advanced metric you could possibly crush, right? On the way to the Super Bowl. But when I say the more I learn about Brock, the more impressed I am with him, it was this information that we got in the offseason that he was actually rehabbing through November. He was not healthy to start the year. He wasn't even healthy halfway through the year. He wasn't done with rehab until basically Thanksgiving, and he was still playing at a really, really, really high level. And then, of course, down the home stretch in the back, 6 weeks of the season through the playoffs, he just completely took off.
I am confused because we were told that Brock was healthy. Is this considered lying? What is this considered?
I mean, yeah,
it's impressive. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not
definitely
coming down Brock's road, but from the Niners standpoint, didn't somebody just get in trouble for something similar on Hard Knocks?
Yeah,
for
it was on the receiver show.
The receiver show for
Yeah.
not disclosing an injury.
Right.
He's still rehabbing, Chris.
Right.
What do you make of this?
I mean, I guess it's that he was healthy enough to play, but maybe not all the way to 100% would be my guess. I mean, obviously they wouldn't have him roll out. I'm looking at it now. He said through Thanksgiving he was pretty much dealing with rehab. That's 11 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That means for a majority of the season he was dealing with this. So, I mean, I would guess that, it is just meant to show how impressive it was that Brock had the season he had. He didn't necessarily take off in those last, what is it?
Like
I
he
guess
said he did, yeah.
6 games. Yeah, I mean, he definitely continued to play well, and he still had the Ravens game post him being 100%. I would say, the first half of the season was equally as impressive, if not just as, if not more impressive than the second half. I mean, I don't really read much from it except for if you liked what you saw from Brock last year, you're probably going to be more impressed this year because he's going to be 100% healthy, I guess. I mean, it's just that's what he was able to do when he wasn't 100%. What will he do when he actually has 100% of his throwing arm available? That's what I'm reading from it. I don't know what else, we're really supposed to get.
Yeah, and I know there were a lot of people that, he can't throw in the rain or with bad weather. So
he's got whittle hands.
Maybe, that's what I'm trying to say. Maybe that's not an issue this coming season because he is healthier. But besides that, the idea of, he had a lack of arm strength. But let us not forget, I mean, he was the last pick in the draft. It's not as if he had a cannon coming into the league and then all of a sudden you know what I mean? It's not as if we don't really know unless you watched a bunch of Iowa State games, what we were missing. But the idea was never that he did have a cannon to begin with. So he might not have been healthy. Maybe he could have got a little bit more zip, but I'm not really sure how much. The question ultimately is, okay, how are you trying to say he's going to be X amount better than last season? What are we trying to gather from this?
I would guess just that, that he's anticipated to be even better next season. And I kind of pointed at it all last season that we weren't really talking enough about. Brock didn't have an offseason last year. Like, he was still rehabbing. He didn't get to do all of the just straight up improvement stuff that everyone does over summer to get better. And I think that's going to be a big part of Brock's development. This is his actual first offseason of being the starter and knowing he's going to be the starter and getting to prepare for that leading into the season. I would just read that, if you thought Brock's leap, if you was impressive going into year 2, just wait for the leap in year 3 where he's had the full off season and where he's walking into the season actually 100% healthy. Numbers wise, I don't know how much better he's supposed to do, but I guess it is just in terms of, his crispiness and how efficiently he's able to throw the ball. I guess it's just meant to read that if you weren't impressed, or if you were impressed, I guess the best is still yet to come. He hasn't even really been able to fully show us what he's got. So that's what I'm reading from it. But at the same time, again, I don't know how much better he's necessarily supposed to be. He was fantastic at the start of last season. So I will have to see how much better it really can get.
Right. And I don't think you're alone. I think a lot of people are curious about how much better it can be. And it's funny because each year with the Niners, it's all right, this has got to be the year they get it done.
Right.
But if you want to put that as part of the conversation to say, hey, last season, even though last season was supposed to be the year that they got it done, Brock was coming back from injury and didn't get an offseason. Everything is running off. I mean, assuming they keep Brandon Ayuk, everything is moving at full speed this season. This is the season where Brock is a year removed from his injury. This is the season now where they have to get it done.
Yeah.
And we're just going to keep saying that until they do.
Right.
And contract wise, this does have to be it.
Yeah.
Because you're not going, I don't see a world where you have Debo and Ayuk going into next season. There are going to be other guys. We know that we were discussing the cornerbacks, right? They're going to be free agents soon too. So this has to be it.
Do you think that there's more pressure on Brock this season or last season? Because going into last season, in terms of, not necessarily, I guess in terms of him being successful, but last season it was, hey, you mess up and there might be a door opening for people to have questions about you.
Yeah.
Feels like, to what you kind of just pointed at, this season, the pressure is, look, man, you're supposed to be better. Like, we just had the year of you kind of getting up to speed and, getting acclimated with everything. Now we kind of need you to be a little bit more of a guy, not just a part of the system.
Right.
We need to have you elevate things more than maybe what you have in the past.
But that's what they've been selling.
Yeah.
Right.
No, absolutely.
They've been selling that he is one of those guys.
Yes, they have.
So
Yep.
They're writing checks for Brock that he's going to have to cash.
Going to have to, yeah.
So I think that it's just last season was that a Jeremy Lin run?
Right.
Can you you be our guy? Yes, you can. This season is, are you as elite as people are saying that you are, or are you just a functioning quarterback or a functional quarterback?
No, and to that point too, like, how important do you think, for exactly what you just laid out, how important is this year for Brock, and just kind of cementing a legacy too? Because you know how these things work. If Brock has a bad season, how much work is he going to have to do in seasons after this in order to get that rep back?
Yeah.
And if he does well this season, how hard is it going to be for us to return back to the conversation in which we were having before Brock kind of popped? So yeah, that's where my mind's at with Brock this season.
Yeah, you at the end of the day, you have to strike while the iron's hot. And this could easily, what's crazy is that this could easily be the best roster that Brock ever plays with these last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
It could.
Oh, yeah.
It
Flat
could.
out. Yeah. Just, yeah.
He's going to get paid. He's got to get paid.
Probably will be.
Some guys are going to walk. A lot of different things are going to happen. So that literally, this could be it as far as this complete of a team.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, he's going to have a lot more responsibility moving forward. It's going to have to be, because of Brock Purdy, a lot more once he gets paid, to your point. I mean, and I don't think it's a crazy assumption to say that, because he's still not getting paid. In the future, every team he's going to be on, whether it be the Niners or whatever, if he moves on to a different team, they're going to have to work around his salary, and that's not the case right now. And so you can stack the roster. Of course, we all know this, but you can stack the roster with as much talent as you want when you're not paying your quarterback top dollar. That's not going to exist moving forward after this season, we think. And so, what is this, how easy are his situations going to be after this? I can't imagine it's ever going to be easier.
I'm looking here, Chris, because one of the comparisons that we've used in the past is Russell Wilson, not necessarily their playing style, but able to sneak in a Super Bowl on that rookie deal.
Yep.
And okay, now you get paid and we'll just see what happens after that. Russell Wilson won the Super Bowl his third year in the league. Then that next year, he infamously threw that interception, but he went to 2 Super Bowls back-to-back, his third and fourth seasons in the league. This is now Brock's third season in the league. Second as a starter, but third in the league because pretty soon Russell Wilson got paid and then he was running for his life.
Exactly.
And Brock is about to get paid. So this is it in a way. This 100%. Is it for this iteration.
I think so.
Of the squad. All right. Coming up next, we continue the conversation. And Paul George had some things to say as far as playing on the B team when he was playing for the Clippers. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year.